What if I told you that some of the world's biggest companies, worth billions today, started with less than $100 in garages, dorm rooms, or even borrowed money? From Apple to Spanx, these are stories of ordinary people who turned tiny beginnings into global empires. And the best part? You might be able to do the same. 1. Apple, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Back in 1976, two young men, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, were tinkering in a garage in California. They didn't have big investors, high-tech labs, or even much money. With just a few $100s worth of parts, they built the first Apple computer by hand. At first, they sold these computers to hobbyists, but soon their machines stood out. Apple's breakthrough came with the Apple II, one of the first mass-produced personal computers. What separated Apple from others was design and usability. They made computers look sleek and easy for everyday people. Despite early struggles, Jobs and Wozniak's vision grew. From a small garage project, Apple became a company worth over $2 trillion today. Lesson: innovation plus vision can turn a side project into a company that redefines industries. 2. Dell, Michael Dell. Michael Dell was a college student in the 1980s when he realized something. Computers were being sold at huge markups. So, from his dorm room, with just $1,000 in savings, he began buying parts, assembling PCs, and selling them directly to students and small businesses. By cutting out the middleman, Dell offered better computers at lower prices. The word spread fast. Customers could even order customized computers, something unheard of at the time. That tiny dorm room startup became Dell Technologies, one of the world's biggest computer companies, worth tens of billions today. Lesson: find the inefficiencies in an industry, cut out the unnecessary costs, and deliver value directly to customers. 3. Spanx was the maker of fax machines, door to door. She had only $5,000 in savings and no background in fashion or business. One day, she cut the feet off a pair of pantyhose because she wanted smoother-looking clothes without the seams. That small personal hack turned into an idea. She spent 2 years developing her product, often facing rejection from manufacturers, until one believed in her. With persistence, she managed to get Spanx into a major department store. Oprah Winfrey later endorsed it, skyrocketing its popularity. Today, Spanx is a billion-dollar company, and Sarah Blakely became the youngest self-made female billionaire. Lesson: you don't need big funding. Solving a simple, relatable problem with persistence can create a global empire. 4. Amazon, Jeff Bezos. In 1994, Jeff Bezos left his well-paying job on Wall Street because he noticed something interesting. The internet was growing by 2,300% per year. He wanted to start an online business, and after brainstorming products, he chose books because they had huge demand and were easy to ship. Bezos set up shop in his garage, packed books himself, and drove them to the post office. His small startup quickly grew because of his customer-first mindset, fast shipping, huge selection, and low prices. Over time, Amazon expanded beyond books into electronics, fashion, groceries, and eventually cloud services with AWS. Today, Amazon is worth over $1 trillion. Lesson: obsessing over customers and reinvesting profits into growth can transform a small garage business into a global powerhouse. 5. WhatsApp, Jan Koum and Brian Acton. Jan Koum's story is one of resilience. He grew up in Ukraine in poverty and moved to the US as a teenager, living on food stamps. Years later, he bought a used laptop and started experimenting with apps. Alongside his friend Brian Acton, he built WhatsApp in 2009, a simple, ad-free messaging app that prioritized privacy. WhatsApp spread like wildfire because it solved a universal problem: cheap, reliable communication across borders. Within just a few years, it had hundreds of millions of users. In 2014, Facebook acquired WhatsApp for $19 billion, making it one of the biggest tech acquisitions in history. Lesson: a simple, well-timed idea that solves a real problem can connect billions of people and generate unimaginable value. 6. Nike. Phil Knight. In the early 1960s, Phil Knight was a young runner with a big dream. With just $500 borrowed from his father, he started importing high-quality running shoes from Japan and selling them out of the trunk of his car at track meets. At first, it was just a side hustle. But Phil Knight and his coach, Bill Bowerman, saw the potential to build their own brand. They rebranded to Nike, created the famous swoosh logo, and signed endorsements with top athletes. Nike's success came from innovation in sportswear and powerful branding. Today, Nike is worth more than $150 billion and is one of the most recognizable brands in the world. Lesson: passion, persistence, and smart branding can transform a tiny startup into a global icon. Many billion-dollar companies started with just a few $100s, a garage, or a dorm room. The secret wasn't money, it was vision, persistence, and solving real problems. Every empire starts small. What matters is the courage to begin. So the real question is, if Apple, Amazon, Spanx, and Nike could start with less than $1,000, what's stopping you from starting today?